Welcome back to the channel, Guardians. Hierarchy was eluding me, but it did finally drop. Now, at first it seemed like vault fodder, but I didn't even realise there was a catalyst, and boy, it's a game changer. We are taking a look at the weapon in detail, breaking it down with all the info you need to know about it, including its advantages and downfalls, damage numbers, performance versus Ticcus and other bows. Disclaimer, this is a PvE only video, so without further ado, let's get into the content. For those of you who haven't obtained it yet, Hierarchy of Needs is an exotic solar bow that randomly drops from the final boss in the Spire dungeon. Its exotic perk will spawn a guidance ring as you hit fire with the perk charged up. Precision hits and body kills grant 1 charge, whilst precision kills grant 2. Once you hit 6 charges, hip firing whilst fully drawn spawns a ring that you can shoot through that spawns 2 seeker shots that seek targets that you're aiming at through the ring. It's quite strong at medium range, allowing you to shoot through the ring and burn through ads in most situations, making it a very strong ad clearer, and you can also chain rings in ad area encounters, allowing for high consistent primary damage. The further a shot travels through the guidance ring, the more damage it does, but it does cap out at a certain point, more of that to come later. You can shoot through both sides of the rings, so placing your guidance ring in between crowds will give you a great tactical advantage if you're surrounded. Now, with all weapons there are disadvantages, and this one is no different. It unfortunately doesn't scorch targets, even though guidance ring kills disintegrate combatants. A massive shame, as this would be super strong on solar subclasses. And there is also the fact that there is a maximum distance allowed for guidance ring shots. The weapon, when shooting through guidance ring, has 3 projectiles. The main shot fired will hit its target no matter what, as long as you are aiming at them, but the 2 seeker projectiles have a maximum distance they can reach, making the weapon useless at long range. We've just gone over the basics of the gun, but we need to discuss the catalyst. Without it, the weapon's rate of fire is like a standard precision bow, slow. But what the catalyst grants is the following: deploying a guidance ring or hitting a target with a seeker improves draw time to be the equivalent of a rapid fire frame. What does this mean? Guidance ring deployments and hits through them will substantially decrease draw time, allowing for lots of rapid fire seeker shots. If you haven't got the catalyst yet, I suggest you go run Spire on Master and get it, as it's quite a game changer, allowing for rapid high fire damage. Before we break down the weapon's damage numbers and compare it against other bows with similar functionality, blood, sweat and tears went into the making of this video, so hit that like button for that sexy YouTube algorithm and subscribe for future content. We are nearing 1,000 subscribers and exciting times await for the channel. Let's get on with it. Get your calculators out, it's time for some damage numbers. I tested the weapon on a barrier champion on legend difficulty and rounded up the numbers. Its base damage without guidance ring was doing 5,600 body damage and 9,000 critical damage, typical stuff for an exotic primary bow. With guidance ring up, the 2 seeker shots were doing roughly the same damage as a precision shot at max damage range, plus the main shot, which does not convert into a seeker, meaning a total of 27,000 damage per hit. Your guidance ring damage will be the equivalent of 3 critical hits on a single target at optimal range. Add to the mix the catalyst and you can be doing some big damage numbers on more beefier enemies. Now, let's compare Hierarchy with Ticcu's Divination. This bow also fires seekers that don't do much damage, but on the follow-up precision hit will cause the target to explode and does significant damage, whilst also being a strong ad clearer. Whilst both weapons are effective at ad clearing, Hierarchy outdamages Ticcu significantly. I tested it versus the same barrier champion, and bearing in mind you need to hit fire Ticcus before landing that precision hit, it was doing roughly 24,000 damage. Considering just aiming for the head with Hierarchy whilst guidance ring is active does 27,000 damage, with the ability to rapid fire, there is only one winner here. Just useless info to go with this. Both weapons can spawn Warmind cells, but those are going away in less than a month of the publication of this video, so yeah. If we compare it to what is arguably the most potent kinetic bow, Wishender, the max damage output of a precision hit is around 27,000 also. Whilst Wishender only has the fully draw to do this damage, considering that the rate of fire of both weapons would be completely different when Hierarchy Catalyst is in play, aka you can get 2 shots off or more with Hierarchy whilst Wishender draws, it effectively means that Hierarchy can outdamage Wishender. My only gripe with Hierarchy is the Seeker having a distance cap and the lack of scorchability, but Bungie did say they are looking at adding 3.0 verbs to exotics post Lightfall, so who knows. Regardless, it's a very fun and tactical weapon to use, totally worth the pain of a 2-hour LFG run to obtain the catalyst, and I hope this has convinced you to grind for it. It's a very good ad clearer and has high damage numbers for a primary weapon, rivaling Wishender's damage too. We have a new god bow, people. That's it for this video, however. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, drop a comment on it, and whilst you're at it, drop a like for that sexy YouTube algorithm, and consider subscribing to the channel. We are nearly at 1,000 subs. With Lightfall fast approaching, I will look to release a checklist of things you can do to get ready for the DLC, and then I may take a mini break from the game in the lead up, unless something interesting happens between now and then. This was Plasma Alchemist. Your viewership is much appreciated. Until next time.